Zoning Commission meeting for February 2nd to order. Roll call of the members. Kells Barrett,
Present.
Barrett, Jerry Huntley,
Present.
Bob Sharridge.
Right. Bob told me he has got a back issue.
Okay. Rodney Sparks, Roy Newman, Sandy Trutchell, Chuck Peters, here. Oh, there you are. I was looking for you at the back table. Present with us are Kurt and Jay Fawcett and Jarrett. Meeting was called to order probably about 7:03, if that was important to anybody. First thing is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been distributed. Is there any corrections, additions, or omissions that need to be taken care of? Hearing none, the chair will accept the motion to approve the minutes. Second?
So moved.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Since I was I've just left one meeting and come to another meeting, I'd like to take a minute to ask the people to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I should have done that earlier. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our meeting today was called for the approval of a text amendment to the Dayton zoning ordinance. Zoning number PZ 22010, a zoning text revision in relation to professional office use within the R1 JJ zone. Kirk, would you like to give us an overview? Or
Does anybody need a copy of everything here?
does everybody have a copy of the
I
ordinance?
have it up on the board too, and then I have the proposed text amendment up there in a Word document, so if we want to, this is just, so if you decide to change it.
Before you try to introduce Laura Mueller, Mueller or Mueller? Mueller, she's the person who bought the church at Fourth Avenue and recently here today with the Second Amendment. So she may speak to the administrator first.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, well, Laura's idea, and she bought the church, and she's going to be doing a workspace in there. She's going to bring her business and Dayton and conduct all of this work. Currently, our zoning doesn't really allow that. So these text revisions are intended to allow things like that to work. We're seeing, look at the map. This is the darker green areas, it's the R1 JJ zone. So this one is specific to the R1 JJ zone. It's pretty much the historic core of the city, and it's only affect that. And, you know, Dayton's a 19th century city. It was platted out a long time ago, and back then zoning, they didn't have zoning, so the uses tend to intermingle, and they tended to work together organically. People also live closer to home, and they work closer to home. Well, we're kind of seeing how these things are coming full circle, and especially after the pandemic, people are working from home. But our connectedness throughout the world, you don't always have to commute to places. So we're looking at ways and enabling people to work at home if they need to. And we do have, you know, there's some mixed uses in our own JJ zone. And we do have a home occupation permit, but that's very limited. So we wanted to add, the city wants to add the use of office to the residential 1 JJ zone, to go a little farther than what the home occupation permit would allow, or some of these conditional uses. In the staff report, you can see, you know, there's, you know, we have the single-family detached dwellings, which is pretty much what an R1 zone is. And then we have a few spots that These are commercial uses, kind of pedestrian-oriented, neighborhood-oriented uses that are situated along the historic district. So we're kind of working toward that a couple of years ago with that, and this goes a little farther because we're seeing properties a little farther from the historic district kind of percolating up. And you know, reuse of old churches is a big deal because, you know, churches aren't as neighborhood-oriented as they used to be. You know, they tend to be more regional now. So these historic buildings are great buildings, but they're really tough to deal with as residences. So they'd be bigger than a regular residence, but they work well for a business of some sort. Actually, there's not much to this. That's why I don't have any slides, because the idea is fairly simple. We want to add the use of office to the R1JJ zone. For that, I do recommend we put the definition of office in the zoning ordinance. So I've suggested in Article 7, the definition, we have this definition. A facility or firm or organization that primarily provides professional, executive, management, or administrative services. This definition shall exclude medical offices with more than 2 licensed healthcare professionals, banks, savings and loan associations, and offices that are incidental to retail, production, storage, and other activities. So we're kind of narrowing it a little bit in the definition. And then as we go to the zoning ordinance, section 10, under R1JJ, the permitted uses after the single-family homes and then all the specific uses in the historic district, we put a third permitted use, which is professional office, excluding clinics, with the following restriction. And then you would say the professional office shall be adaptive reuse of the building or structure constructed prior to now, basically just January 1st, 22. So this is adaptive reuse. No, we're not going to allow people to just go build something in the neighborhood. They have to reuse an existing building that is historic, or at least existing. No exterior alterations or additions shall be permitted for the purpose of increasing the building capacity, so the building envelope remains the same. It still looks like what it looks like. The gross floor area of the building shall be 4,000 square feet or greater. I arrived at that number kind of looking at some of the bigger buildings around town. The average house size is about 2,500 square feet, so this will exclude a lot of the single-family residences, unless it's a really big one. Most of them are 2,500 or less in Dayton. But something like an old church or something like that, even smaller something. I haven't driven every street to see what's out there, but it has to be a little bit bigger. And then, you know, this is a little bit coming from other parts of the ordinance. It may be included within and entered from within any use permitted on the zone. So basically, you can go into it from your house or your use. On-site parking shall be provided if the number of employees on shift of the largest employment exceeds 3. So, you know, one of the things with the home occupation permit is traffic and parking. We limit that, so we do want to make sure that if there's more than, 3 employees at any one time, that they do provide off-street parking, so the neighborhood isn't affected by that. So, I have that in a Word document, so if we want to tweak it in any way, we can. But basically, our recommendation is to adopt the revised text change related to professional offices in the R1JJ zone in the city of Dayton zoning ordinance. Forward the recommended text revisions to the city for consideration. And the bases for the recommendation are KRS 200 through 207 to 211. The Plan Commission has the authority to recommend the adoption of text changes to the city. And then Dayton zoning ordinance section 17, the commission has the authority to amend the zoning ordinance. Proper notice of public hearing has been given in accordance with Kentucky revised statutes and the Dayton zoning ordinance. The proposed text changes are consistent with the comprehensive plan update. If you look at page 25, they're consistent with the land use section, particularly within the goal to encourage redevelopment or adaptive reuse of vacant or underutilized buildings and sites. If you go back to the section 17 amendment procedures, so that goes to the comprehensive plan, and in our new comprehensive plan, it does specifically mention this type of order. And then the text changes are consistent with the code of ordinances, land usage, and the subdivision regulations. So with that, I'm going to give
I have a question for you. Under number 3D, I'm having trouble understanding what it's trying to tell me.
Oh, that may be included within an entrance from any use
From-
permitted in the zone?
Yes,
So it's basically, that's actually taken from another section of the zoning ordinance. I forget where I got that from, but it's essentially, it can be inside an existing use. And you don't have to have a separate entrance for it. So if it's in the back or the basement.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
all right.
It's fairly, it's not a huge deal. I don't see anybody not following this criterion. And it is a little awkwardly written, so I will entertain any edits to it if you'd like. I just know that we use this language, I think, in the conditional use permits or something like that, somewhere else.
Okay. It is something that you can define and defend if it ever was. I don't understand it enough to say it could ever be an issue, but I just couldn't figure out where I was entered within and entered from.
It does, the way I interpret it, it doesn't have an entrance.
Okay.
So are people expected to automatically register this property as a business entity?
That would be a zoning permit, yeah, and then there's an occupational tax license too. So, in order to do it, it's very similar.
And that's stated somewhere then?
It's a separate ordinance outside the zoning code that requires every business operating in the city to not take a license.
Okay.
And when they go through this process, we know they're there, so they'll get an occupational license, so we know they're operating.
I mean, right now, there's so many private businesses done through Amazon, through whatever.
Right? Can't start traffic.
Yeah, we can't catch it.
No, I just didn't know if people were supposed to be,
They should be, I mean, you know, to be right with the, have an occupation tax license in the use, where you're located.
Is there any restriction on, like if they live there and run a business out of there, is there any restriction on how much space would be designated, residential as opposed to?
No, we didn't really think it was necessary to do that with the home occupation permit. We do have a limit on the size in proportion to the living space. But, I didn't really have any precedent to base it on, and how would I define, how much they can set aside for the living space, versus the workspace, so.
There's no requirement to have a certain percent
I
for
think,
this.
Laura, I think you guys intend to live there, right?
Correct.
If you wanna talk to them, you should talk to them about what your
Well,
plan
maybe
is.
describe your, yeah. if you
Yeah,
could.
go ahead.
My name's Laura Mueller, and Jane invited me to this meeting. My husband and I recently purchased the church at 522 Fourth Avenue in Dayton. We closed last month. Our intention is to live on the main floor and then have my business, which is an art conservation studio now based in Covington, on that lower street level floor. So kind of a live work all in the same building. My business is
Does the board have any other questions?
I do. Would there be any issue if, let's just say hypothetically, you do extraordinarily well and you find yourself having more business than you can handle at times? Is there any issue with her using that lot as the green space for?
In fact, under the zoning, if they have more than 3 employees, really, they will be commercial.
So show yourself some grace on that, please. You have the opportunity to do that. No, nobody's gonna beat you over the head if you turn it into a parking space, okay?
My husband would be very sad.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be the whole green space.
There's a dog,
Take them to the rainforest, then, it's okay.
but that's a really good question.
Okay. Any other questions or comments to be made? Are we ready to vote on this ordinance? Okay, we'll take a vote on file number PZ 22-010, zoning text revision in relation to professional office use within the R1JJ zone. Richard, will you give us the criteria, Kurt, I'm sorry.
Which do, the,
What you usually give us a statement that it was compliant with text amendment.
well, you could do, based on the staff report and presentation,
Okay,
and that you find that it,
Yeah.
you know, I have these bases, those are typically things you can read through. But you can also see, I approve, motion to approve based on the staff report and public comment and presentation,
okay.
like that.
Did you record that? All right. Due to that being the case, vote is appropriate. All in favor of this ordinance signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the same sign. Hearing none, the motion will pass. Thank you very much for your input. We have one other business issue to take up, and that is to pass the bylaws for the Dayton Planning and Zoning Commission. I believe copies of it has been distributed. And I assume that you've had a chance to read it, or if we need to take time, we can be happy to give you that time.
I'll give you a little background. So we looked to see what the bylaws were here, and we couldn't find any. So in that case, we talked to Cindy Winter, Kirk's boss, and we said, well, we should probably put some bylaws into place that establish the rules of conduct and how meetings are held and how officers are elected and all that. So what I did was, I went ahead and put together some bylaws for you all, and I think we discussed probably one change, there were some changes we made as I sent it out, and there's some comments we made, but I think Chairman Peters, you had a change you wanted to make
Right.
as well.
I'd like to make offer a change on the last page, the last sentence of the document. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and I've talked with Jay about it, and he is supportive of the change. No record or statement shall be recorded or considered as evidence in a subsequent proceeding without prior notice to the person making the statement. I would like to strike this sentence in its entirety. You know, people are kind enough to come and make presentations to us. If there's a need for city council to look at this before they accept our ordinance, they have that opportunity. And if it ever went to trial, I'm sure they're going to pull the tape from this meeting. So I don't understand what this would add to add or why we should do that. So it is my motion is to strike this last sentence.
So, I want to say one other thing, just to make sure you're aware of it before you vote on that. We changed the meeting date from the first Wednesday of the month to the third Thursday of the month. The reason we did that, this meeting was the day after the city council meeting, so we had almost a 60-day window sometimes on getting these planning commission recommendations to the city body. So this puts it in the middle of the month, so it would be much easier for us now to go to the city commission, our city council, and quick action. The other question was, 7 o'clock is traditionally the time we have the meeting. Some people said, should we change that time? For instance, our code enforcement board meets at 5:30, the other boards meet at 6. So that's up to you all, I just wanted to throw that out there. 7's fine, any time's fine for the city, but I just didn't know what was supposed to be.
Okay. I don't believe the time or date is mentioned in this bylaw.
It is in there.
It is?
Yeah, the date is, it says, I'll find it for you.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Page 2.
Let me just go up here real quick.
Yes, I see it now. Is that date agreeable to anybody? Does anybody have a solid conflict forever? Hearing none, I
Okay,
think.
so Thursday, and what about the time?
What about the time? Is this time convenient to people?
7 PM?
Okay,
That's all I need to
good.
know.
With that one correction, is there any other discussion areas or corrections that anybody wants to make?
So are we setting up commission secretaries and the positions as recommended?
So after this is approved, you all may have to select, I know you're acting chairman right now, so at some point in a
Yeah.
future meeting, we're going to have to make permanent officers
Yeah.
of this body.
Okay, let's accept the minutes.
Yeah, right.
Let's accept the ordinance
Right,
first.
exactly.
Any reason not to vote? Hearing none, we'll accept the motion to accept the bylaws of the Dayton Planning and Zoning Commission. We need a motion?
I motion we approve.
Is there a second? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. While we're talking about this, you know,
Do we know when these bylaws, they'll go through city council, yes or no?
no.
So probably our next meeting, we need to be prepared for filling some official permanent positions.
I would recommend that, and it looks like we are going to have a meeting next month, the third Thursday of the month, on a text amendment involving the Ramey building, the Burton or Raymond building, they call
All
it,
right.
at the corner of Berry and Sixth. So that would be a good time to decide on officer appointments, nominations and appointments.
Let me ask a question. I know that when we're doing the text amendments and changes of zoning, that there's public announcements that have to be made. Does it make sense for us to advertise that maybe for the next 6 months that the Planning and Zoning Commission is going to meet on the third Thursday of the month?
All public hearings are advertised through the county P&Z department, and they will identify the days and the times for those meetings.
Okay, because I've noticed in the past that we've had meetings that had to be moved.
Right.
I didn't know if it was possible.
And the reason we had to move the last one to this date is because of we had to meet the advertising requirements, and we weren't able to do so.
Right.
So they do all the advertising, and it does
Okay, so
advertise these.
they have to have the language in there.
Yes,
It isn't just to say that we meet, it's to say why we were meeting, had to be in the publication.
Yeah, it's a legal notice with the date, time, and the case number, the applicant.
Okay.
Location, if there's a location, and the subject.
Okay,
all city bodies have to have a regular meeting scheduled throughout the year. You can have a special meeting, but the good thing about a regular meeting is you can discuss any items, but if you do a special meeting, only those things on the agenda can be discussed.
yeah.
So by having a regular meeting, it gives you much more discretion to discuss items other than what's
Yeah.
on the agenda.
Okay,
So what will the date of that meeting be in April? 21st?
I think it's the 21st.
Whatever the third Thursday is, right?
no, it takes two.
The 21st, it would be the third Thursday, 21st of April.
There you go, third Thursday.
I'm at Music Hall, sorry.
That's all right.
That's not a regular thing, it's arbitrary dates.
That's a one, yeah, it isn't every month, right?
Special performance,
Okay,
classical roots.
okay.
You dance.
Sandy?
Yeah, it's not necessary for us to have a meeting every month, though,
What's that?
It's not necessary for us to have a meeting. If we don't have business and we don't have any
I get a feeling,
any training or anything else,
I thought we'd have a little bit of a hiatus here for this, but we got a lot of stuff going on in the city, so it looks like we've got a couple more meetings, so.
okay?
But then I think there will be a
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other business that is to come before the Dayton Planning and Zoning Commission? Hearing none, motion to adjourn? Oh, come on, guys and ladies. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye and leaving.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Best wishes.